UNC still doesn't have a football coach. They have an interim, Freddie Kitchens. Tight ends coach, former Browns head coach, remember that. He'll be coaching UNC for the bowl game, but that's not the concern. The concern is you don't have your long-term coach in place, and it is very important that you either have your coach in place or you have the direct step-by-step instructions to getting your coach in place as quickly as possible. It's not an exaggeration that something could be happening behind the scenes that should make UNC fans panic. The hard part is that Bubba Cunningham, that athletic director of UNC, has a pretty mean poker face, and we can't quite pin it. But it is very important that Bubba Cunningham and that athletic department is executing a plan in their coaching search and hiring process as we speak. There is zero reason why anybody should be caught off guard by where they are right now. It's even if you weren't sure you were going to fire Mac Brown, even if 2 months ago you're thinking if things go really well and Omarion Hampton wins the Heisman and we're going to the ACC championship, maybe we'll keep him around. Even if that's the case, the guy's 70-something years old. You better have a plan in case he wanted to ride off into the sunset. Who is it, and how does the hire get done? Should pretty much already have an answer. Here's what could be happening behind the scenes that would make me go, cool, I'm good, Bubba, you got it, thumbs up. If he knows who's going to be the head coach, he knows when they are announcing the head coach, and that head coach is covertly behind the scenes assembling a coaching staff and running through his friends in the business saying, hey, hypothetically, if I were to be taking over a program in the Triangle in North Carolina and I were looking for a offensive coordinator, a defensive coordinator, a defensive line coach, would that be something you might be interested in? If that's happening, cool. Bubba Cunningham, project confidence publicly, and everybody chill. If you don't know who your head coach is, if you're still figuring it out, if you're still getting together with the powers that be in a boardroom somewhere, putting names up on a whiteboard and running pros and cons, or you've maybe made the offer to a few different guys only to have, yeah, no, I think I'm going to wait. Yeah, no, I think I'm going to stay. Then urgency and, yes, panic is appropriate. Transfer portal opens in 6 days. December 9th. Your guys can decide to leave the program in 6 days officially. They could decide now and announce it, but they can put their name in that portal 6 days from now.
We've already seen a lot of guys throughout the country saying this is what they're doing.
If I had to guess what's going on at North Carolina right now is there's a lot of let's see who the new guy is. We talked about this with Duke last year, and I know a few people within the Duke program, friends of a friend of a friend, and they asked for advice when Mike Elko left. And my advice was, well, don't make a decision until you have to. Wait and see who it is. Maybe it's somebody you like. Maybe it's somebody that recruited you at another school out of high school. Maybe it's somebody who runs the same system. Maybe it's somebody that values your skill set and is going to show up and roll out the red carpet for you. Wait. I think that's what's happening at UNC. The question is, how long are they going to be waiting? And can they afford to wait until UNC makes it known? Bubba Cunningham was on the Inside Carolina podcast, and he talked about the timeline for their coaching hire.
I would hope to have it done within a week. That would certainly be my expectation. We get it done by this time next week. We should be done. But that could slide forwards or backwards. Sure. But that would be my hope.
A week. I need to know, are we talking business week? We talking 5 days, which would be pre-portal? I would like it to be sooner than that. Or are you talking 7 days, maybe a long weekend? You're going 7-8 days because that's a whole different beast.
My guess, if he says within a week, this tells me this is somebody that is either a head coach somewhere right now that's in a conference championship game, like let's say the Tulane head coach.
Summerall.
who coaches
Who
on
is near the
Friday.
betting favorites on all the boards and all the hot lists and candidate searches.
Wait till that game is finished, then you can announce it. That way you can catch the buzz, like, oh, like if Tulane just won a conference championship, oh, now he's going to be our coach. Or somebody that has head coaching experience that's on a staff competing this weekend in a conference championship as well.
That is a very, very good possibility. And also, I've had this worry or this kind of conundrum, this rock and a hard place, quandary, if you will, a few times in hiring my coach. Because I would want to hire a coach that cares deeply about the players that he coaches. So if let's just hypothetical, we're talking John Summerall, the head coach at Tulane. I want him to love and care and be completely committed to the players he coaches, because that's the kind of coach I want at my school. So I want him to love and care and be ridiculously committed to his Tulane players, and I want him to want to finish it out, right? Go win the conference championship. Go help them. But then the conundrum is the conference championship is played, the day before the portal opens, and I kind of need him talking to my players, trying to convince them to stay, especially the ones he wants, before that happens. And it becomes that rock and a hard place where, yeah, if you could announce it in 2 or 3 days, that would be much better than in 7-8 days. But if a coach was like, yeah, cool, I'll abandon my team before the conference championship and start re-recruiting the players here, I would go, not sure I want you to be my coach.
Yeah.
That was a little too easy.
Well, the thing at Tulane, their conference championship game is on Friday.
Which helps them a little bit.
Well, so it gives you a couple extra days since Monday next week is when the portal opens.
Which helps them a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I also think the parallel, Tulane, that's where Mac Brown was when he came to UNC the first time.
That's true.
Instead of going Mac Brown 2.0 with Mac Brown again, go Mac Brown 2.0 with the Tulane head coach again. It's a whole different beast.
2.1.
Yeah, exactly. Remember those AOL CDs you get for free at like little kiosks? 2.1, 2.2, 3.0. Here's why it's important, and here's why I'm saying the panic would set in if it doesn't happen soon. If there is anything, and I know they're your enemy, but learn from your enemy. If there's anything you can learn from Duke, they replaced their coach, right? A coach everybody liked, but left under different circumstances, but left. If there's anything you can learn from the Manny Diaz deal, you need a big commitment, I would say, by your bowl game. I think the most important thing Manny Diaz did, which led to Duke winning 9 games, maybe 10 games this year, is on the day of their bowl game, which they won, by the way, under an interim head coach. They got a commit from Malik Murphy, 4-star recruit, big name out of Texas, started games for Texas last year, or 2 years ago. Last year. I'm getting my calendar confused. My point is he had started games for Texas. He was a nationally known name. He committed to Duke the day of their bowl game. So if players were like, I'll hang around till the bowl, see what happens, that day they got the nonverbal, hey, it's okay to stay because people want to come here. We are an attractive destination. UNC, whoever your next coach is, needs to make a splash, do something that says everybody isn't going to be in a mass exodus. It's okay to stay. We are still an attractive destination. Could it be someone, I was looking up their roster for kind of could it be someone like Bryson Nesbitt, who I believe has another year of eligibility and could be an NFL tight end, had kind of an injury season this year. Could it be someone like that saying, no, I'm staying, and that lets everyone else go, whew, all right, yeah, I wanted to stay too, but I don't want to be the only one. You need to get that name. And it needs to be soon because the conveyor belt for college football doesn't slow down for anybody. It is full steam ahead. Next season has already begun. You have to re-recruit your players constantly with the portal. You have to fundraise constantly. Next season has already begun, and every day you don't have a coach, you're falling another step behind.